Hello and welcome to today's video. So this time we're going to be taking a look through my collection of small Star Wars playsets and mini rigs. Now these were always a good fun back in the day because they were generally cheaper than the big playsets, and they were really affordable, and they were, you know, just sort of the sorts of things that were just out of shot in the movie, and quite good fun. And well, I've got quite a collection of them actually now. I pulled them all together, so that is what we're going to be having a look at today. Now some of them are very dusty and dirty, so I'm going to give them a bit of a clean as well, and then we're going to have a look and see which ones might be worth popping into nice acrylic cases. So sit back, relax, and let's get to it. Right then, so this is the first one we've got to look at, and this is the Palitoy Hoth Wampa. Now my example of this isn't too bad at all. I think ones which have got like a flap, they're always susceptible to getting folded over, and this one's actually in quite nice sort of flat condition. The only thing is, it's super dusty, so I'll get right up to the camera there. You see that sort of level of sort of storage, sort of dust and wear there. Apart from that, it's a really sort of nice example, and I always like the Hoth Wampa. There's a tiny little bit of like sticker residue maybe around there, so this is probably exactly how I picked it up back in the day. So what I've got, I use a little bit of just furniture polish, Mr. Sheen here, which is readily available, and I use a very sort of soft cloth, and I just pop a bit of Mr. Sheen on the corner there, dab it in, so I don't spray it directly onto the actual box because that would potentially get it wet and ruin it, but I just dab it in there so it's impregnated, but it's not too like sopping. And then I will just give this a bit of a clean up. So if we start on that really bad area around there, look how that comes straight up straight away. I mean, it's not going to need a lot, but it is a lot of these that we've got to show today, and I've got about 15 or so sort of mini rigs or small play sets are going to need just this little sort of once over, and that's what we're going to do. And then we'll have like a look and think, well, which ones deserve casing up within nice acrylic cases, GW acrylic cases, because I've done one a little while back, which was the Rebo Band, and that looks just fantastic. And I really like the sort of the small play sets. There's a lot going for them, isn't there? And they were always brilliant things to have as a kid, because it would be the sort of present that wouldn't be like if it was your birthday, for example, it wouldn't be your main present, but something this sort of size would be the sort of thing, oh, ask Gran to get me that, for example, you know. So it would be a little bit dearer than a figure, you know, maybe like between £5 and £10. But still a really nice sort of Star Wars item at the same time. This is good with a couple of Bounty Hunter emblems on the bottom there, which you would cut out and send back to Palitoy HQ to get your sets there, 1981. And there we are. So it didn't really need a lot, this one, but the amount of dirt that's come off that, look at that, quite a bit already, isn't it? So it just shows sometimes there's a lot of invisible dirt there. And this is only because it's pretty much back to when I first picked it up. I don't think I've ever actually, I can't really remember exactly where I got this one. It's probably a boot fair or something like that. I had one as a kid, but I don't remember saving the box for it for some unknown reason. Maybe someone gave it to me or something, but they used to be really common. I mean, the actual Wampa itself still is super common, isn't it? But certainly the price is creeping up, and I do love that Palitoy one. So this is a tri-logo. That was a nice Empire. This is a tri-logo Man Sail Skiff. This one's also really nice. It's not sealed. It's sealed at the side there, but it's not sealed on top. But I believe everything is it's all sort of complete inside. But it's just not quite sealed up there. But even so, still a really nice one, and only a very light level of surface dust on this one. So we'll just give that a little once over. And this was always cool because it had, you know, this was Boba Fett's ship, the Man Sail Skiff. And it was amazing. When we had the shop, mini rigs used to come in all the time. You'd forever getting, every sort of collection had a few like bits of mini rigs in. The most famous one being the Vehicle Maintenance Energizer. I'm not sure if oh yeah, I have got one. I was going to say, I'm not sure if I got it. That's by far the most common one to find, you know, was the Vehicle Maintenance Energizer. I do remember some of these being around in like blank shipper cases at one point. I think it was this one. So that's the Sail Skiff. Next to it, another classic, another real common one. I think they're common anyway, the tripod laser cannon. This was a pretty cool one, I have to say. Now this is an American Kenner one, so I don't know how this one's ended up in my collection, but it is really sharp. There's a bit of yellow in tape there, but apart from that, it's mint and sealed, which is lovely. I wish they were all like that. So not a lot required on this one, literally just a little once over, just to get any sort of storage dust off it. And I am getting very, very close now to being able to get my the stuff that I've got in acrylic cases at least out on display. So I'm very excited about that. It's going to be quite a project to do, but very soon I shall be able to do that. And obviously I shall record the process as we do it, because it's going to be really good. I'm looking forward to getting some nice bits out. So that was nice and straightforward. That one, a really nice sort of beefy gun, that, isn't it? Definitely suits the Snow Trooper there. And there's some of the other ones that were around at the time. Cool stuff. I'll do one more before I pull the camera out of it. So this is the Ewok Assault catapult. So this is Kenner one, but it's got a Palitoy sort of sticker on the top, which is unusual, isn't it? So maybe Palitoy just imported these from the States and then sold them with the Palitoy sticker on. That, I think, is probably what's happened. This one itself is sealed. There's obviously a barcode that's been pulled off. Maybe that was an American barcode, I don't know. Not actually too bad, this one. I mean, it is Ewoks related, so there is a limit to how excited I can get about it. And you know my love of Ewoks, not. But let's just give it the once over. It does feel quite sort of robust, this one, unlike some of the other ones, which can feel a bit hollow, you know. This one feels quite sturdy, so it's been well packed there. Some of the other bits on the back there, the Ewok Combat Glider, we've got that. I don't know if I've got the catapult though, now I come to think about it. Not that I'm going to rush out and try and find one. But these mini rigs were always sort of good fun, and definitely sort of pocket money accessories to put with your figure. Or you could imagine, you know, Mum going in and saying we can have a figure and a mini rig or a playset, you know. So we'll do one more, which is the Vehicle Maintenance Energizer. So this is the most, I would say, when we used to get collections in the shop, this is the one that always would turn up. Now you can see the big sticker removal mark there. It was probably reduced to 49p or something like that. But apart from that, it's actually nice and solid and robust. It has been opened, but I have checked all these and they are complete. So this has actually got English and French writing on the back there. So it is like a tri logo. Yep, there it is. In actual fact, there's the Italian on the bottom. So it is a tri logo. And once again, not too bad, this one. Although they've all come up much better than when I first looked at them. So I am taking quite a bit of dust off these by rubbing this slightly damp cloth over them. Obviously, it's going to take more than what I'm using here to get that sticker off. I probably could do it with some patience, but I honestly don't think it's really worth it. A lot of dust on this side. I honestly don't think it's worth the effort. I'd rather just leave it there and not make a mess of it. And see this, I don't know if you can see it, but there's like the little white bits there. That is just sort of storage dust and dirt, which comes off quite nicely with a duster. Yeah, well, there's a start. There's 5 down. We've probably got about twice that to go again. So I'm going to just pause there, pull the camera out, and we'll crack on. Okay, so this is another one which has got one of those flaps, and I do find these really awkward. So they were always a bit tricky to find well, when you did find them, they were in usually, this would all be like torn off completely, or they'd be folded over. This one's actually doesn't look too bad. It doesn't look like it's been folded over. So, but I do remember back in the 90s, there would be dealers had literally cases of these, case fresh, and they'd say, "Oh, yeah, I have one of them," and you would just buy them literally brand new out the box. They were the days, eh? So these are a slightly different range. You see on the side here, this is AST5, Armoured Sentinel Transport, but there's a few others, so the MLC3, and I was surprised I didn't have a few more of these because they were so common. And it's a classic case of, I had so many through my hands, I didn't end up keeping one for myself, which is exactly what happened with Slave One. We had loads of them in the shop over the years. I just didn't, for some reason, get around to keeping one for myself when I had had the opportunity, which is just one of those things, isn't it? But it's okay. So this one's not too bad either. It's a nice sealed American Kenner example, and as I say, I'm very pleased because it's got that nice sort of picture on the back there. It's sort of like a wide screen or something, isn't it? That's nice, that one. That's interesting. On the bottom, it has got a £2.88, and that N&P is Nerdon and Peacock. Now, Nerdon and Peacock were a wholesaler back in the day, and I guess back then they would sell the occasional toy, and this would have been for Nerdon and Peacock. Generally would have served like little corner shops and places like that. So that's probably, they had these, and that was probably that was the trade price maybe, and they were due to retail at about £5 or £5.99, something like that. So that's AST5, not bad, that one. And here's another one with a flap, a Kenner one again, MLC3. This is obviously Empire Strikes Back one with a Han Hoth outfit there. Another very, very cool little ship, this one. Like you say, never seen in the movie, but it could quite easily have been just in the just off screen there, This one also has quite a bit of dust on it, but no actual bad marks. It's just like a tiny layer of dust where, even though it's been sort of stored in a box over the course of 2 to 3 decades, it's just ended up, a little bit of dust has seeped into the box and caused it to get a tiny little bit dusty there. But that's okay, because dust we can handle. We can handle a bit of dust there, can't we? And I really don't know so far if there's any that I absolutely must get popped into an acrylic case. I think the Hoth Wampa, because it is a Palitoy, and I do really like that one. Let's put these up there like that. So possibly that one. Now that's all the really small sort of play sets, and now we're on to the ones which I say are like mid-range size. So the next is a little bit smaller than a land speeder, shall we say, but smaller than a normal sort of play set. So this is another nice Palitoy one, and I think I probably will get this one done because it looks great. And this is the Palitoy Tauntaun. This is the open belly version. I don't believe, no, I haven't, well, at least I haven't got it here. I haven't got a solid belly version. This one had 3 bounty hunter cutouts, if you were so inclined. Look at that, that's a cool picture, isn't it? I don't know, it was always gross, wasn't it, when Han put Luke inside the guts of the Tauntaun. So this is quite a nice robust box, which is good news. So it actually makes it very easy to give it the once over. I've got to admit, I've been absolutely loving getting my old Star Wars stuff together again, and actually getting it organised to see what I've got properly, and with the prospect of getting quite a bit of the good stuff out on display. Certainly the cost of some of the figures nowadays is, well, quite surprising. I have to say, I've been shocked with some of it. Some people have been writing and saying, "Oh, do you see what this is going for and that's going for?" And I sort of blooming out, no, because I tend not to look at what stuff sells for, because I'm not looking to sell it. But yeah, quite a shock all the same. Lovely. That's a really nice sort of piece, that one. I do like the Tauntaun, so I'm going to put him over there and put the Wampa on top. So let me just move the camera up there. You can see these are coming together very nicely. They're good little stuff, aren't they? So the next thing then that we have to look at is another one similar size, and that's the Endor Forest Ranger. So I did have, I had a couple of the packs which came with the figures. What were they called? I had the Endor Chase set and I had the Hoth Rescue set. But, you know, when I wasn't too fussed about the Star Wars stuff and I was selling a few bits and pieces off, which I did. I let a few bits go to fund my original Xbox collection, which I'm very, you know, really enjoy as well. I let the Endor Chase set and the Hoth set go to another collector. The boxes on them were really rough. I know they're super rare, but I thought, well, they're not exactly great, so I let them go. And I also sold two other mini rigs, which were it was two of the Power of the Force mini rigs that I sold, but I got ridiculous. I got like £400 each for them, and I thought, well, that's fine. I mean, I only paid about £25 each for them back in the day, so I've made a nice bit of profit, and I was able to put that towards getting some nice rare bits and pieces for some of my other collections. And I always think, you know, I'm happy to let stuff go if there's something I particularly am after. And I have to think some of the prices of the carded these days, I think, well, you know, think what you could get with, you know, get rid of 5 or 6 figures. You could pick up a first of, say, Casino Royale, you know. So you know, it's all sorts of swings and roundabouts, isn't it, this collecting game. So this one's all right. He's got a bit of, it's been bashed a bit on the side there, but apart from that, it is all complete. So it's not my best one, so I probably wouldn't get this one encased in GW Acrylic, but it is still a nice one all the same. So just got a few more to go here. I'm going to pop the Forest Ranger over there. So please don't judge me, okay? It's the Ewok Combat Glider. This was awful. If we had a loose one come in the shop, you couldn't display it at all, because it was just a piece of plastic with the harness and the things. I mean, this is a sealed one, so I suppose that's why I've ended up keeping it. And it's the American Kenner one, although they were definitely sold over here because they used to turn up all the time. It is just god awful, isn't it? Now, you see around the B and the A there, you can see there's a bit of sticker residue. So I've got a fairly damp cloth now, and let's see if I can get that up, because that's just the sort of thing I'm looking to do on these. Let's do the rest of the box, leave that to just soak in a moment. Yeah, it looks like it's almost got it up. Once again, the tops on these were just a little bit of surface dust, nothing more than that. But it's nice to just give them the once over, and then they'll be carefully packed away ready for my next GW Acrylic order. Now, I do believe I'm filming this in July 2020, and I believe GW have just had a little restock of cases and things, so maybe now's the time to swoop in and get some. So yeah, you can just see a little bit of the glue there, which is still left on, but it's not too bad. It's actually come up pretty good, that, all things considered. But because it's an Ewok related item, I am definitely not going to be rushing out to get that one encased, because well, obvious reasons. So the last one we've got to clean is this one, which is an absolute beauty. I love this, and this is the speeder bike. And even before I've cleaned it, and you can see on here, there is like little spots of storage where it's not as fresh as I would like it. So I'm going to give this one a really, it's sealed, this example, so I'm going to give it a really nice clean. This is going to come up gleaming, I tell you. Look at that on the side, $24.95. That was expensive, wasn't it? That was expensive. But this was such a clever toy, wasn't it? The speeder bike, it really was. And once again, these would come into the shop in, you know, literally at the bottom of a bag of figures and stuff like that, and they would be they would always be in pieces. But if you knew how to put them together, I mean, come the end, you could almost put them together by feel alone. You wouldn't even need to look at it. So this one's coming up lovely already. That's got loads of dust off that. So that's good news. One thing with Star Wars stuff is if it's mint underneath and you do this, you give the stuff this sort of treatment, it generally does come up very, very nice. Yeah, this is picking up loads of dirt, absolute stacks. So this is going to make a nice before and after. So you see those bits around the top of the box there where it's sort of like mottled yellow, white rather. That just comes straight out with just a tiny bit of furniture polish on this very soft rag here. And this is getting off basically nigh on 40 years worth of vintage dirt and grime. Look at that, it's come up blooming lovely, isn't it? Absolutely gorgeous that. Let's do the sides. If only all my stuff could be nice and mint like this, it would be lovely, wouldn't it? But alas, time machines were not on sale. And then just the back here. Now this is once again what a perfect example. You see all the sort of mottling around there, how it's sort of just aged. There's nothing really to worry about. It is just storage more than anything. And 30 years worth of that. So it doesn't take a lot to bring this up absolutely perfect. So, but I remember, I think I got this from a dealer who had like a case of them. I think, you know, I know it's hard to believe, but what I want is something that I can lean on there. Yeah, he had like a case of them, which was like mental. But back in the day at those 90s toy shows, people would be turning, you know, ex-employees and that would turn up, and they like had a case of, you know, Rebel transports. It was they were bringing in like 4 brand new Jedi Return Falcons, for example. I would never forget the guy at the time when someone went to Jim Stevenson's store and had a case of 4 Death Stars, you know. Which he proceeded to buy for $2,000 in cash, which he just pulled out of his pocket. That was the sort of guy he was. Jim, R.I.P. Right, that has come up rather nice. Let's put see, the Ewoks did actually have a purpose there. They helped me clean the speeder bike. Let's see how that's come up now. It's taken away all that sort of white sort of mottling and that. It's come out really lovely, isn't it? So that one definitely is going to go in a case. So let's just pull the camera out one more time. So there they all are, and they do look really good, actually. I have to say, they look really smart. So what I'm looking to do, as you remember a little while back, I got my Rebo Band out, and it was absolutely mint of the mint inside, and the box was really nice as well, because I had a few of these through my hands over the years. And this is what the GW Acrylic cases look like for these sort of mini rigs. So I think, definitely looking at this, I'm going to get the Wampa, and I'm going to get the Tauntaun, that's for certain. Those two definitely are going to get done. And then I think the speeder bike is going to be on the list. And then probably, I think the mintest ones, it was that tripod laser cannon I really liked, and I like that one Man Sail Skiff, and maybe the MLC3. So probably those ones are the ones that are going to get the treatment. So I shall get those ordered, and they will be being acryliced up in a future video. I hope you do found that the cleaning part of it really useful. Look at how much dust and dirt came off, absolutely mental. Yeah, on the face of it they looked absolutely fine, but when you looked up close you could see just how dusty and dirty they were. So anyway, that's it for today. I hope you have enjoyed that. If you have, do please chuck it a like down below. Do please comment. Did you have any of the mini rigs when you were collecting Star Wars when you were a bit younger? Do please consider subscribing for regular vintage Star Wars content, and I shall look forward to seeing you again very soon. Bye.